The plan was simple, a weekend camping trip deep in the northern woods. My two friends, Samir and Bilal, were supposed to meet me by sunset. But their car broke down halfway, and by the time they called, I had already hiked nearly 6 miles into the forest, with no signal to guide me back. So I stayed. At first, it wasn't that bad. The woods were quiet, almost peaceful. Tall pine trees stretched endlessly, their tops swaying slowly like they were whispering secrets to each other. I set up my tent near a dried riverbed and started a small fire. Night came faster than I expected. And with it, the silence changed. You don't really understand silence until you're deep in the woods. It's not empty, it's heavy. Like something is listening back. Around midnight, I woke up to a sound. Crunch. It was faint, like someone stepping on dry leaves. I froze. At first, I thought it was an animal. Maybe a deer, maybe something small. Then I heard it again. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Slow, steady, too steady. Whatever it was walking. And it was getting closer. I grabbed my flashlight and pointed it toward the trees. The beam cut through the darkness, but all I saw were trunks, shadows, nothing moving. The sound stopped, completely. That should have made me feel better. It didn't, because then, I heard something worse. A whistle, low, soft, almost human. It came from somewhere behind the trees. I stood up slowly, my heart pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. Hello, I called out. No answer, just silence again. Then, the whistle came back. Closer this time, but different, like it was trying to mimic a tune, but couldn't get it right. That's when I realized something was wrong. Very wrong. No one should be out here. Not this deep, not at this hour. And if someone was, why weren't they answering? I slowly stepped back toward my tent, never taking my eyes off the trees. That's when my flashlight flickered. Just once, but in that one flicker, I saw it, a figure, standing between two trees, too tall, too still. In the moment the light came back steady, it was gone. I didn't sleep the rest of the night, because every few minutes, I kept hearing that same whistle, circling my camp, getting closer, and closer. I kept telling myself it wasn't real, that what I saw between those trees was just my imagination. A trick of the dark, a side effect of being alone for too long. But the whistling didn't stop. It kept moving, left, right, behind me, then somewhere far off again. Like whatever was out there wasn't just walking, it was circling me. By 3 a.m., my fire had almost died out. The small glow of embers barely lit the ground around me. I didn't want to leave the tent, but I didn't feel safe inside it either. Then something changed. The whistling stopped, and for a moment, there was complete silence. No wind, no insects, nothing. That's when I heard it. Footsteps, right outside my tent. Slow, deliberate, heavy. Crunch, right next to me. I held my breath. My entire body felt frozen. I could hear my heartbeat pounding in my ears. Then, a voice, soft, right outside the tent. Samir. My blood ran cold. It was Bilal's voice, exactly like him, same tone, same accent, but that was impossible. I grabbed my phone with shaking hands. No signal, no messages, no missed calls, nothing. Samir, open the tent. This time, the voice sounded wrong, like someone trying too hard to sound human. The words were slightly stretched, the pauses unnatural. I didn't respond, I couldn't. Then came the scratching, right against the tent fabric. Slow, dragging, like fingernails, or something sharper. I shut my eyes tight, hoping it would stop. But instead, the zipper started moving, just a little, a slow, inching sound. I reacted without thinking. I grabbed my flashlight and knife and shouted, "Go away." The zipper stopped instantly. Silence. Then, footsteps again, walking away, slowly. Crunch, 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 until they faded into the distance. I stayed like that for hours, not moving, not breathing properly, just listening. Waiting, praying for morning. When the sun finally started to rise, I rushed outside. Everything looked normal, too normal. No footprints, no marks on the ground. Nothing, except one thing. On the side of my tent, there were long, deep scratch marks. And right below them, written in dirt, in uneven, shaky letters, "Come out." That's when I realized, whatever was out there last night, it wasn't just watching me. It was trying to get me outside. I didn't pack properly. I didn't care. The moment I saw those words, "Come out," something inside me snapped. Every instinct I had was screaming the same thing. Leave. Now. I shoved everything into my bag without folding, without checking. Food, flashlight, knife, whatever I could grab in seconds. The woods looked different in daylight. Not peaceful anymore. Just wrong. Too quiet. I started walking back the way I thought I came. There was no clear trail, just broken branches and faint marks I hoped were mine from yesterday. At first, everything seemed fine. Birds started chirping again. The wind picked up slightly. Normal forest sounds. But then, I heard it again. That whistle. I froze mid-step. It came from ahead of me this time. Not behind. Not circling. Waiting. A long, broken note. Like someone calling out, but not using words. No, I whispered to myself. No, no, no. I turned around immediately and started walking in the opposite direction. Faster this time, but after a few minutes, the whistle came again, from in front of me. My stomach dropped. That's when I realized the truth. It didn't matter which way I went. It knew, and it was always ahead of me. Panic took over. I started running. Branches scratched my arms, roots nearly tripped me, but I didn't stop. I just kept moving, my breath getting heavier, louder, desperate. Then, I saw something that made me stop dead in my tracks. My camp, the same dried riverbed, the same burnt-out fire. My tent. I felt the ground shift under me. No, no, that's not possible. I had been walking in a straight line. At least, I thought I was. But somehow, I had come back. The whistle echoed again. This time, right behind me, closer than ever. Slowly, I turned around, and there it was, standing at the edge of the trees. In full daylight, tall, unnaturally tall. Its body, too thin. Its arms, too long, hanging almost to the ground. But the worst part, its face, or what should have been a face. It looked like someone had tried to make a human face. From memory, eyes too wide, mouth stretched slightly too far. And it was smiling, not moving, just watching me. Then, in Bilal's voice, perfect this time, it said, "Samir, you found your way back." I couldn't move, couldn't breathe, and then it took one step forward. Just one, but that was enough. I turned and ran again, blindly, randomly, not caring where I was going anymore. Behind me, I heard it running too. Fast, too fast, and the whistling, now turning into something like laughter. Broken, twisted, getting closer, closer, closer. I had never run like that in my life. My lungs felt like they were tearing apart, my legs burning, but I didn't stop. I couldn't, because whatever was behind me, it was still coming. I could hear it crashing through the jangala, branches snapping, leaves exploding under its weight. And the worst part, it wasn't slowing down, it was getting closer. That broken laughter echoed behind me, mixed with that horrible whistling. Sometimes it sounded like Bilal, sometimes like something else entirely. Then suddenly, I tripped hard. My body slammed into the ground, knocking the air out of my chest. My flashlight flew out of my hand, rolling somewhere into the bushes. For a second, I couldn't breathe, and the footsteps behind me stopped. Complete silence. I slowly lifted my head, and that's when I saw something that didn't make sense. Just a few feet ahead of me, there was a narrow dirt path. A real one, clear, walkable, not like the endless jangala around me. And beyond it, I could see sunlight breaking through, brighter, open, like a road might be nearby. Hope hit me all at once. I scrambled to my feet and ran toward the path. The moment my foot touched it, everything went silent. No wind, no birds, no footsteps, nothing. I didn't stop to think. I just kept running down that path as fast as I could. For what felt like forever. Until finally, I saw it, a road, an actual road. I stumbled out of the trees and nearly collapsed onto the pavement. A car was coming. I waved my arms like a madman, screaming for help. The driver slammed the brakes and jumped out, rushing toward me. "Hey, what happened to you?" I couldn't even answer properly. I just kept looking back at the forest, expecting to see it, standing there, watching, but there was nothing, just trees, still, silent. The man helped me into his car and drove me to the nearest town. I tried to explain, but the words sounded insane even to me. They said I was dehydrated, lost, confused. Maybe I was, but before we left, I looked one last time at the edge of the woods, and I swear, for just a second, between the trees, I saw something tall, standing perfectly still, and then, it slowly raised its arm, not to wave, but to point, at me. I didn't go back to the woods. Not after that. For weeks, I could barely sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw it, that unnatural face, that stretched smile, and the way it perfectly copied Bilal's voice. But the worst part, the whistling, even in the city, sometimes late at night, I thought I could hear it. Soft, distant, waiting. I tried to move on. Told myself it was trauma. My brain trying to make sense of being lost and alone. Until 3 days later, Bilal and Samir finally showed up. They came to my house, worried and confused. "Bro, where did you go?" Bilal asked. "We reached the spot the next morning. Your camp was there, but you were gone." I felt my chest tighten. "Did you see anything?" I asked carefully. They exchanged a look. Samir hesitated, then said, "We saw something weird." My hands started shaking. "What?" "There was writing on your tent," he said. "In dirt." My heart dropped. "Yeah," Bilal added, trying to laugh it off. "It said something like, 'Come out,' or whatever." "Probably you messing around, right?" I didn't respond, because I hadn't told them about that. Not a word. Before I could say anything else, Samir pulled out his phone. "I actually took a picture," he said. It looked creepy. He showed me the image. And my entire body went cold. Because the words on the tent were different. Not, "Come out," not anymore. Now, it said, "Too slow." My vision blurred. "No," I whispered. "That's not what it said before." Both of them frowned. "What do you mean?" I couldn't explain it. I still can't. But that's not the part that still haunts me. It's what Bilal said next. Casually, like it was nothing. "Oh yeah, and there was this weird sound too," he said. While we were there, I slowly looked up. "What sound?" He smiled slightly, like someone whistling. Silence filled the room, and the strange thing was, Samir added quietly, "It sounded like it was coming from deeper in the woods." They both laughed it off. But I didn't, because I knew the truth. It wasn't calling them, it wasn't trying to scare them. It already tried with me. And I escaped, barely. So now, it's still out there, deep in those woods, waiting, learning, mimicking, perfecting the voices. And one day, when someone hears a familiar voice calling them from the trees, they might not hesitate like I did. And next time, it won't say, "Come out." It won't say, "Too slow." Next time, it might just say your name.